Today I'm going to be working on a little project to keep my kids busy. I'm going to cut down some 1x12 stock that I have left over, and we're going to turn it into birdhouses. So I'm just going to get it all prepped and ready for them so that all they have to do is glue and nail it up. So I'm basically going to build some birdhouse kits. I started off by cutting 5 pieces to the same length with the stop block, and then I moved a couple inches over to give me a little bit longer of a piece for my roof. I set the stop block to be roughly 8 inches. Since these pieces still are way too large for a birdhouse, I'm bringing it over to the table saw. I'm going to cut them essentially in half. This is going to give me enough material to make 2 birdhouses. And I set the fence on the table saw to be 5 inches away from the blade. Cut these all down to the same size. What we have is what's going to end up being the sides and the bottom. We're going to take another couple of pieces here that are going to be the front and back. Go right in there. I'm going to pick an angle and cut these off. To find where the walls come up to, we're just going to take one of the other walls right next to it, flush with the bottom. These are perfectly flat together, right there, and mark at the top. You can use the board to draw a straight line. If you don't have any squares, just use this to draw a whole line across. So that's going to give us all the room that we have to work with to make the angle of the roof go straight to the middle. Cheat, since I have a square, and just bring it straight. And it's 45-degree angle. So depending on what area of the country you live in, I would just recommend looking up the size of the hole that you need for birds. Around here, there's a lot of sparrows, chickadees, and house wrens, and they recommended around 1.25 inches. So I set up the Forstner bit in the drill press, and if you don't have a drill press, a hand drill works just fine. I marked out around the center of where I wanted this to go, and just went for it. So here I set up the table saw with a 45-degree angle. I'm doing this for two reasons. One, so that the roof comes together at a 90-degree angle, and two, so the walls follow the angle of the roof. Also, you should notice that I moved the fence over to the other side of the blade. When doing a bevel cut, you really need to have the blade pointing away from the fence, otherwise you could get binding or potentially get kickback from the blade. I'm adding pilot holes for the fasteners here, just 2 on each wall and 3 down on the bottom. On the roof, I'm going to add 3 fasteners in the ridge, 2 that are facing the same direction and 1 that's facing the opposing direction. Then I'll add fasteners that go all the way down each side of the roof. It was at this point that I realized I had a 90-degree clamp, so I could just clamp the roof together and put it on top, and then drill my pilot holes. From this point on in the video, I think I'm gonna need a little bit of help. We put glue on all the faces that would end up joining together. Instead of using nails, I ended up using trim screws. I just thought it would be a little bit easier for my son to use the screw gun as opposed to swinging a hammer at my fingers. He was also pretty excited to use a power tool.